Well, hello there, and welcome to another gorgeous day for an adventure. We just finished up an adventure here at Powell Gardens in Kansas City, Missouri. And so now it is time to drive home, and I know for a fact there's a lot of things to see between Kansas City and St. Paul. And so we are going to check some of those things out for the ride home. Welcome to another edition of Tommy Travels. It's Tommy Travels. This should be an interesting adventure, you guys, so come on with me. Let's go see what there is to see. One thing about Missouri, fireworks are legal, unlike Minnesota. You don't see too many fireworks stands in Minnesota, so I thought I'd just stop by this one, and I love the name of it, Pyro City. Black Cat fireworks are sold here, and I imagine that's what that thing is. And this is a good place for a fireworks store too, especially since it's right here on Firecracker Lane. I love that. We are in Lee's Summit, Missouri right now, and I just came across this little restaurant called Habaneros. And they've got a plane sitting on top of the building, and I thought it was worth checking out. I like that. Habaneros. I also do like the plane right against the blue sky like that and the clouds. It looks like it just landed right there on the building. Well, look at this. We have come across some type of an amusement park. I think it's called Oceans of Fun. I think I saw this when I was driving down, but I'm not sure. Oceans of Fun, I think, is what this is called, but it looks like it's got a pretty big roller coaster going by. Oh, it's called Worlds of Fun, Oceans of Fun, according to that thing. And look what we have run across here, the James Farm, home of Frank and Jesse James, historic site. Let's just take a quick little look, shall we? And so this is the Jesse James Farm and Museum. I don't know much about what I'm looking at. I'm assuming this is their farmhouse, but the birth home I think is in another location. And I'm not sure how much filming we can do on the interior. But we're just going to check out a little bit. We're not going to be here long, see what there is to see. And so here it is, the original Jesse James birth home here in Kearney, Missouri. 1847 is when Jesse James was born, and this is the home he was born in. It was home of Frank and Jesse James. They are doing some remodeling right now to the front of the building, and so we're not able to film inside of the home, but it is kind of a historic grounds that we're sitting in right here, and so I thought I'd stop by and just give you a peek. And right here in front of the home is Jesse James' original grave site. He's no longer here. He's at the Mount Olivet Cemetery. This is his original footstone, but this is a replica headstone. The original is actually in the museum, and so we may take a look at that in there. An interesting thing about this gravesite is Jesse James' mom was the original tour guide at this location, and she used to sell these rocks from his grave for 25 cents. And when they ran out of rocks, there's a creek right down back there, and she would get more rocks from that location and put them up here, and there's more to sell. That's quite an interesting little story. And here's a look at the inside of the museum where we came in. And they have all sorts of historic artifacts back here. Like this sewing machine, which belonged to Zeralda James Samuel, who was the mother of the James boys. And then this is a portrait of Reuben Samuel, who was the stepfather of the James boys. That is pretty cool. And this sewing machine was donated in loving memory of her mother, Laura Hall Henson, who was given this machine. And they have these cool saddles. This one is for Frank James. That's the one he rode in. The saddle of Mrs. Frank James. And then this is the saddle of Jesse James himself. Pretty fascinating. And being from Minnesota, I thought I would show this. This is a bronze sculpture depicting the Northfield Raid, where Jesse James was killed. And to this day, every year they have what's called Jesse James Days in Northfield, Minnesota. Here is a portrait of Jesse James, and then this case has a whole bunch of items that were donated to the museum. Like this, what we're looking at is the last cartridge belt used by Jesse James. This one on the right here, this long gun, is a shotgun used by Jesse James. That is his last bridle, a handkerchief, and these boots right here are the boots he was wearing when he was killed. Wow. And here is a picture of Jesse James' mother standing out at his original gravesite in front of the home. And here is Jesse James' original headstone right here in this museum. Wow, pretty historic. There are just a ton of artifacts in this museum, so if you get a chance, you should stop by. We don't have time to look at them all today. This has been too long of a visit already. Since we're on our way home, we have to get scooting. But what a cool little sidetrack adventure. Well, it looks like this adventure of stopping by little attractions on the side of the road on the way home might be cut a little bit short. The reason that I came down to Kansas City is because it was the only place on the map that didn't have rain for today. And now that we're heading north, we're into this stuff. So we'll see what happens, but this might be a shorter adventure than I thought today. This is what we're currently looking at, and there has been some massive streaks of lightning from way up in the clouds all the way down to the ground, so this should be an interesting little trip here. And just like that, we're back to blue skies. Except now, we are in the middle of a whole lot of nowhere. So we'll see how this adventure goes. So we are cruising through the city of Des Moines, Iowa right now. We're not going to get a chance to stop. We're way behind schedule here, but over on the right, which just got blocked by all the trees, but will be showing up again here in a second, is the historic Basilica of St. John. Look at that dome. That is really something. What a beautiful, beautiful building. Iowa used to be all about cornfields, but now they've added some windmills. Makes it a little bit more interesting for the viewer. And look at that, even more windmills. Acres and acres of them. Just winding away. That is really a lot of windmills. And we have finally arrived back in Minnesota, and we're passing this little airport that I always like to look at. It's got these 3 planes taking off. Beautiful sight. That's about all there is to see besides runways and things like that, but I just thought I'd give you a quick glance at a beautiful picture. And here we are, finally back at home in good old St. Paul. What an adventure. We spanned 3 states today, starting off in Kansas City, trekking through Missouri and Iowa, and now we are finally back home. And I like to end these on a water feature, and there is no better water feature than the mighty Mississippi, flowing down south from where we came from. Absolutely gorgeous evening here in St. Paul, and it's good to be back. It was a fun-filled adventure, both for the last adventure at Powell Gardens in Kansas City, and then also for the way home. Got to see lots of cool things today, and if you guys liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. While you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe and the little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me so far, and until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.